King Shumeewamee and the Volcano of Mad by Yaged, Episode 8. Russ and King Shumeewamee looked to the right. There were a handful of corridors. They looked to the left and saw another handful of corridors. They looked up and saw even more corridors. They were surrounded by so many corridors, it was almost like the corridors were reproducing right before their eyes. "What do we do now?" Russ grew nervous. "I was supposed to clean my room, and I've been gone for a really long time already. If my mom ever finds me, she'll kill me." Russ started to sweat. He wondered if maybe he had a fever. "Never fear." A smile spread across King Shumeewamee's face from cheek to cheek. "We'll just call on Dixon." "Who's Dixon?" Russ asked. "Dixon is our habba-jabba," King Shumeewamee answered. Habber water?" Russ asked. "Habba-jabba," King Shumeewamee repeated. "They're small beige creatures with a hint of pink that walk around on all fours. Between you and me, in most places, you might call a habber-jabber a cat. But this isn't most places. This is Shumeewa." "What do we want with a habber-jabber?" Russ asked. "Never underestimate the power of a good habba-jabba," King Shumeewamee warned. "Habba-jabbas are like maps. If you don't know where you are, they put you right back on track." "Why didn't you say that to begin with?" Russ wanted to know. "If that's the case, we're not lost at all." "Not so fast," King Shumeewamee said. "It's not that simple." "What do you mean?" Russ asked. Before King Shumeewamee could get the words out, a voice from above said, "First, you have to answer the questions from the cards." Dixon hung from the ceiling by her tail, shuffling a deck of cards with her paws. Russ wanted to ask her what she meant by answering the questions from the cards. Before he could, Dixon started shouting out question after question. King Shumeewamee practically lost his breath trying to keep up. "What's 9 times 10? Dixon asked. 90, King Shumeewamee answered. "What's the capital of Spain?" "Madrid." "How do you spell existential? Backwards." LAITNETSIXE. It didn't matter how many questions Dixon asked or how quickly she asked them. King Shumeewamee just kept answering them one after the other. That is, King Shumeewamee kept answering the questions until Dixon asked the question. "What's a jigger-nutter?" King Shumeewamee looked to Russ. Russ turned to the right in hopes there was someone to whom he could look. "You don't know the answer?" he whispered to King Shumeewamee. "How would I know the answer?" the king asked. Russ continued. "What should we do?" "Guess," the king responded matter-of-factly. "Guess?" Russ puzzled. "What if we're wrong?" "Then we'll try again," King Shumeewamee explained. "Maybe you should guess," Russ suggested. "I really don't know the answer." "That's okay," King Shumeewamee said. "She probably doesn't either. Just say the answer confidently. Sometimes confidence is half the battle." Russ hemmed and hawed. This was really a very uncomfortable situation. A buzzer went off, and Dixon held out a stopwatch. "Time's up." Russ didn't know what to do. He didn't want to guess wrong and disappoint King Shumeewamee, never mind making a fool out of himself. He felt the king's eyes bore into him. "Take a stab," King Shumeewamee encouraged. "A jigger-nutter," Russ stammered, "is the feeling you have when you don't know which way is up and which way is down, and the whole world feels turned around." Dixon looked at Russ suspiciously, then chimed, "That's correct." As Russ and King Shumeewamee shared a celebratory hug, Dixon began to magically draw a door in the air with her paw. King Shumeewamee motioned to the door, and Russ took this as a sign he should open it, which he did somewhat cautiously. When he peeked inside, he was surprised to see his bedroom. "But I don't want to go," Russ whined to King Shumeewamee. "Are you whining?" King Shumeewamee asked. "I don't whine." Russ turned red in the cheeks. "I didn't think so," King Shumeewamee said. "It's time to go. You said so yourself. You have things you need to do." "What about you? How will you get back?" Russ wanted to know. "I've got Dixon. I'm bound to tire her out sooner or later," King Shumeewamee smiled. "By the way," Dixon whispered to Russ underneath her breath, "there's no such thing as a jiganator." "Then why did you make the door? Why are you helping me get unlost?" Russ was confused. "I liked your confidence." Dixon winked as she rubbed up against King Shumeewamee. "You know what's nice about leaving?" the king offered. "What's that?" Russ asked. "You can look forward to coming back," King Shumeewamee said. "That doesn't make me feel that much better," Russ sulked. "What about my Snappy's lessons?" "Sometimes you have to go back before you can go forward," King Shumeewamee instructed. "I don't like when you talk in riddles," Russ complained. "Practice what you've learned until next time," King Shumeewamee continued. Russ was disappointed he couldn't get the king to let him stay, but he was encouraged that at least King Shumeewamee mentioned a next time. "How will I find you?" he asked. "How do I know? I'm lost, remember?" King Shumeewamee responded. Russ scratched the top of his head. "I mean, what if I need you?" "You'll know how to find me," King Shumeewamee told him. "I'm inside of you." Then King Shumeewamee started repeating Russ's chant. "I am smart. I am strong. I am special," Russ shouted out. Then together they repeated, "I am smart. I am strong. I am special. I am smart. I am strong. I am special." They continued this together until King Shumeewamee suddenly snapped his fingers. Russ blinked and found himself back in his bedroom. If his mother thought it needed cleaning before, it was beyond a mess now. What had happened while he was gone? Before he could come up with an answer, his thoughts were interrupted. "Big brother!" Samantha called from outside Russ's bedroom, making quick little knocks on the door. Russ grew grumpy. She always called him Big Brother when she needed something. She never remembered he was her big brother when she was getting him in trouble. "I need help," Samantha called. Russ swung the door open angrily. He was ready to tell Samantha what he thought of her need for help. Samantha looked past Russ at the contents of his room. Everything that was usually in his closet was all over the floor. The things that were usually in his drawers hung out of them. The stuffing and feathers that used to be inside his pillows floated through the air. Even some of the you-know-what that was usually inside Dodie's cage was smushed into the carpet. The room was a mess. Russ stared at Samantha long and hard. "Why should I help you?" he was about to say. Before he could get his words out, Samantha started sneezing. "Achoo! Achoo! Achoo!" "Not you too," Russ said. "Well, it's sort of dusty in here," Samantha complained. "Who are you to come in here and complain about my room?" Russ's voice began to rise. Before he could break into all-out yelling, Samantha interrupted. "Look at your mirror," she said, lifting the Rise and Shine mirror out of the rubble. "I should go put this somewhere safe. Mom's gonna be really upset." "No!" Russ raised his voice again, but this time for a different reason. "You can't take that out of here!" Samantha squished up her face, looking at her brother sort of oddly. "You don't even like this mirror." "I do too!" Russ grabbed the mirror from Samantha.
Since when?
Samantha asked. Never mind, Russ barked. Samantha wasn't about to give up, but she broke into another sneezing fit.
Achoo! What happened to your room anyway? Achoo!
She asked her brother. None of your business, he snapped back.
Fine.
Samantha started out of the room, but before she could slam the door behind her, Russ heard King Shumeewamee's words playing back in his head. No, not the part where King Shumeewamee said, "It's hard raising parents." The words that played back in Russ's head were, "We have to give people the benefit of the doubt. If someone's driving you crazy, take a deep breath and start again." So Russ breathed in, breathed out. He thought about counting backwards from 1,000, but before he even needed to do that, he felt a little calmer. "Wait!" Russ called out to Samantha mid-swing of slamming the door. "If you help me clean up," Russ offered, "I'll tell you all about what happened."
How do I know I can believe you?
Samantha asked. "I guess you'll just have to take my word for it." There was a twinkle in Russ's eye.
Then will you help me?
Samantha asked. "You want help?" Russ caught a glimpse of King Shumeewamee's face, smiling back at him encouragingly in the Rise and Shine mirror. "You know what?" Russ said. "I think I know just the guy."
Good,
Samantha began.
because you're never gonna believe what happened.
The end.